The PSA Dagger is one of the most affordable Glock clones on the market today. It's been out for a few years, and it's proven to be a solid and reliable performer. Although there are many different models of the PSA Dagger out there available, and it does follow the Glock Gen 3 pattern, it varies in several ways that make the parts slightly different depending on what you want to do with it. Luckily, Herrington Arms has stepped up to provide us with some of the most common parts end users actually want for the Dagger pistol. All right, well, this right here is definitely not your average Dagger. So if you don't know, the PSA Dagger is a clone of this right here. This is a stock Gen 3 Glock 19. Although the Dagger does look quite a bit different, that's basically what it is designed after. Now, if you were anything like me, when that PSA Dagger came out, it was around 250-ish galactic credits. So for the value, I definitely had to try one out. And over the past couple years since having it, like I said, it's proven to be reliable, durable, and pretty much everything we would expect since it's based off of a Gen 3 Glock. And because of its reliability and popularity, that of course led to the inevitability of aftermarket companies coming out with all of the little parts and pieces that we want when it comes to a standard everyday carry pistol, a performance pistol, duty pistol, whatever it is. There are certain things that some of us out there like to test out and try to see if they're going to work for us. I think all of you out there know I am a fan of trying things like that, specifically when it comes to something like a magwell for a Glock pistol. Magwells are some of my favorite things to put on pistols because they generally can only help you. So when I heard that Herrington Arms was going to release a magwell, some base plates, and a comp for the Dagger, I was very intrigued and I wanted to test those out. Now, I have done reviews on the Herrington Arms comps before, and what I will say is they're about as aggressive as you can get while still having factory reliability. And that is extremely important when you start talking about functionality. Now, what we are going to focus on from Herrington today are going to be the +2 base pads, of course, that magwell right there, because that is one of my favorite things for a pistol, and then that thing right there up front, that comp, which is going to ultimately help you control recoil and make it a little bit easier to run out on the range. Now, we'll have a parts list for everything you see here today. It'll be the first link down in the description, or if you're watching on TV, you can pause. There'll be a QR code up here for you to check out. And you can do all of your own research on everything you see in the video today and make a determination if something's right for you or not. And also, all of this content here, and of course the upkeep on my website as well, is all done with the help of Brownells. They've been a big supporter of mine since I actually started the Tactical Considerations channel, and they're still a supporter of the channel today. And none of this content, nor my website, would be possible without Brownells, which is just an awesome company to begin with. I've become friends with several people that work there, and they do a lot for the 2A community. And for all of those reasons, that's why they are my primary choice in the industry. Let's deep dive into these parts, starting off with that magwell right there. Like I said, this is one of my favorite things to do with a pistol because it can generally only help you out. Whether it's a duty pistol, carry pistol for EDC, or a competition rig, magwells perform a couple of purposes which are very helpful. The first way they help you out, obviously, is to get the magazine in there just a little bit faster due to all that additional surface area, which acts like a funnel. So even if you're just a little bit off, that surface area helps push the magazine into the right place. Second thing is they help you with a little bit more grip around here. You get a nice little pinky ledge to hold on to. It's gonna keep your hand a little bit higher on the pistol, a little bit more of a firm grip, a little bit more of consistency in that grip due to that ledge and all the surface area kind of pushing the, the meat of your palm up higher on that grip. So that's gonna help you ultimately control recoil and have a more consistent grip on the pistol. Those are secondary benefits of a magwell, but they are pretty big, but not as big as the main function, which is to just help you get that magazine in there quick. Now, as you can see, the frame design here on the PSA Dagger is quite a bit different than the standard Glock. So the standard Glock magwell is obviously not going to fit on the Dagger frame. Now, due to this proprietary design, Herrington Arms had to design a specific new magwell for the Dagger around those side grip cutouts that the PSA has on it to match those dimensions. The inner design here of the magwell is solid. It's exactly what you want to see. No hard edges, a complete funnel design with great chamfered edges all the way around. The surface area on that outside is equally as good. It's just big enough to provide you the pinky ledge, a more consistent, more solid grip without being too big or too small to accomplish the task, which is one, getting the mag in there, and two, helping you control the pistol. Now this is a two-piece design consisting of a plug portion and then the outer mag wheel, which actually fits over the base of the grip. So it's gonna fit in there with two fasteners. The machine work here is top notch. There's not a single blemish that was on this thing when I got it and installed it until I started obviously using it and jamming mags in there. And it comes in right around 69. Next up, we'll talk about the base pads right here. So they are designed to fit and kind of feature the same look and angles as the mag well, obviously because they're from the same company. And there's not really a ton you can say when it comes down to mag well. So what I will tell you about the mag well is the machine work was very good, everything that I would expect. You get a +2. They are factory styled replacements, clean, simple, and just effective at what they do. And these things are coming in right at around 39. What about that business end up front? The compensator from Herrington Arms. Now this is specific to the PSA Dagger slide based on how it goes around the front of the slide right there, how it attaches and everything. So it's not meant to go in a standard Glock slide. It is specific to the PSA Dagger because the Dagger has a slightly different profile to the slide, but he's got options for the regular standard Glock stuff as well. Now, if you started with a threaded barrel Glock, you're gonna be good to go, but if you need a threaded barrel, I will have some options for you over at the build list. I'm running the Roscoe threaded barrel here, and it's been everything I needed the barrel to be. I've run a few of those. They've turned out to be absolutely awesome. Again, I'll have information for that at the build list. Like all the other parts we've talked about from Herrington today, the comp is made of 70-75 aluminum, which is good stuff. It comes in a few different colors, so you do have some options out there. It's also going to be about as aggressive as you can get to still run on basic store-bought ammo and be consistently reliable, which is extremely important when it comes to a compensator. Now, for those of you that don't know what a compensator is, you can see that big port on the top right there. So what it does as the bullet is traveling down the barrel of the pistol and it's about to leave the end right here, all the gas is dispersed in an upward direction. So it's mitigating that upward rise that you experience while your pistol is cycling. So as you fire the round, slide goes back, bullet goes out, gas goes straight up rather than straight forward, and it helps reduce and mitigate recoil. So out there on the range, your shots are gonna look more like this rather than this. Of course, depending on the strength of your grip and how well you actually know how to shoot and control recoil. This shouldn't be a training wheel, it just should be something that you add to add a little bit more performance, but ultimately your grip and your performance is probably gonna be based on your skill level and what you're actually doing while holding on to that pistol. I ran everything from cheap 115 grain ball all the way up through some expensive 147 grain self-defense ammo, and I got 100% reliability out of the Herrington comp, which is pretty much what I've expected, having run one on a standard Glock and also a SIG as well. Like I said up front, Herrington makes these things about as aggressive as you can get while still maintaining that 100% factory reliability on a factory recoil spring. The design and the looks of this thing are overall very solid. The way that it fits around that slide is super clean. It's got enough room to basically self-time itself on the slide, enough room for the recoil spring down in there to do its job and still look very tight and very good while maintaining that reliability. Again, machine work is top notch here, what I would pretty much expect from Herrington. Fits good, looks good, and 100% does what they say it'll do. Now, as far as the percentage of recoil reduction, I don't really have a way to scientifically measure that for you. All I can say, it's enough to notice a difference in the felt recoil from a non-compensated to a compensated pistol. Now, I know some of you have noticed that optic mounting plate right there. So when these first came out, they didn't have an optic ready version on launch. So if you're like me and you bought one of these, I have found a solution for pretty much any non-optic ready slide as far as Glock, I think Smith, HK, SIG, and a couple other models and brands out there. And that's from Dove Adaptive Mounting Solutions. So after seeing a lot of products like this dovetail mount come out and almost all of them fail, I was very skeptical, but I tried this one. It's made of tool steel. It's extremely rigid, solid. It's got a center set screw, and most of all, you get backup iron sights with it, as you can see here, mounted in front of the optic and up here, and you get a choice of either a fiber optic or a cool night vision night sight, which are some of my favorite night sights out on the market right now. And it's pretty affordable, coming in I think like 79 or 80, and then there's an installation kit you can buy. But Should you have a slide that's not optic ready and you don't want to send it out to get milled or have to wait because some companies won't work on aftermarket slides, which this would be considered, there is an option, and I'll have that info at the parts list. What are our performance gains here, and what is any of this actually going to do for us? Obviously, when it comes to the base plate, you're getting a +2. It looks pretty good, gives you a little bit more surface area should you have to grab and strip a magazine out. And it's got, factory install, factory reliability as far as I've tested, so good to go there. When it comes to that mag well, it's doing what a mag well should. Helps you get a better purchase on that grip right there with your primary hand. It's obviously gonna help you funnel the magazine in there in case you're just a little bit off, whether you're doing an empty gun reload, a stress reload, speed reload, whatever you wanna call it out there, whether you're in competition or just stressful training, it's gonna help get the job done. Big thing up front here, the comp. It's gonna help you control and mitigate recoil. So there are gains in different ways by each part that we're talking about here today. What I will say is the magwell and the comp in conjunction are gonna be the biggest two performance gains you can usually get, because it's gonna help you control that grip while also helping you control muzzle rise more because of the way it's gonna vent the gas. So those are gonna be your two biggest performance gains. When it comes to a base plate for your mag here, it's gonna add some weight, might fall free a little bit faster if you competition guys. The +2, it's always nice to have a +2. If you're into looks, it'll give you some looks. If you need to strip something, if you're using really bad, terrible ammo and you keep having malfunctions, it's gonna be easier to strip. But ultimately, your biggest performance gains are going to be in the magwell and the comp. The base plate is just a nice addition, which at this point, why not? And probably the coolest thing when it comes to the Herrington Dagger build right here is you can have all the Herrington stuff on your Dagger depending on how you first bought it and still be under the factory cost of your plain Jane Gen 3 Glock right there. So that's pretty cool. Now, is it for you? I don't know. Ask your wife or ask your girlfriend, see what she says. Keep doing it on the range. Remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. I will see you all on the next one.